You can get the song Ganesha's Journey and other mantra tracks at JasonJGallant.ca.
Today I'd like to talk about limitation, okay? And that discarding limitation has everything to do with the mystical enlightenment spiritual path, okay? Because a lot of times people will walk around with an idea about life and about themselves, and some of those ideas are pretty great. You know, sometimes they'll say, I am the best person in my country at this, or I am the best person in my workplace or my family with this. But what I'm here to say to you is that even identifying with being the best at something is still limitation, because it's still an idea, and that idea is based on what you know, but not on what you don't know. So you see the difference? It's a very subtle thing. You know, a lot of times people build themselves up, they get more confident and they get a bigger ego and they're like, yeah, I'm really good. And sometimes we could see these types of people with the, you know, the grin, you know, and they're at a success seminar, I am just the best thing ever, you know. But the problem is that there is still a limitation in that way of thinking, because it doesn't allow you to be what you naturally are. It says, I must fulfill this ideal every single moment, otherwise something wrong is happening. And it also doesn't allow evolution, right? If you think you are the greatest at this one thing, what if your soul really wants to move into something over here, but you know, your identity says, no, I'm the best at this. I have to continue fulfilling this obligation to the world, to society, or to myself, right? So the enlightenment path has to do with letting go of that limitation, letting go of the limitation of even good ego, just allowing the soul to move, allowing the soul to show up. That's why I seem a little nuts sometimes to people that really know me, because one minute I'm making a hip-hop song for my hip-hop music channel. Next minute I'm making spiritual music for my spiritual music channel. Next minute I'm actually doing some art like painting, or I'm doing photography, or I'm making videos. You know, because I am a slave to the soul. I am a slave to what is naturally emerging, and I'm not limiting myself here based on what people might think of me. Oh, this person will think I'm unspiritual because I made a hip-hop song. Oh, this person might think that I'm strange because I'm teaching mantra. You know, I discarded all of this stuff a long time ago because it has nothing to do with your happiness. Your happiness has to do with the flow of self. And the flow of self is discarding your limitations, regardless of how polite they are, right? Polite limitation can be more restrictive than the harsh, you know, emotional damaged restriction, you know, the emotional pain and everything. You know, oh, I'm in prison, you know, my life is horrible, I hate it, you know. That at least is an obvious imprisonment, you know. The polite room with the nice padding and, you know, the nice pillows and the throw rugs and everything, that room can still be just as much of a prison, even though it's more pleasant to look at. So limitation is nothing more than walls, right? It's saying I must be this instead of what I naturally am. So discarding all limitations. So any idea you have about yourself, anything that says this cannot happen, you discard this. You have to. Because the movement of the soul has nothing to do with limitation. If you want the soul to show up here, if you want who you are to show up here, then you let go of this brain that says, oh, I'm limited. The internal critic, you can call it. You know, critics don't accomplish anything. So let go of your internal critic. All critics do is watch other people accomplish and then poke holes in it, but the critic has no ability to do anything. It's just like somebody taught me about writing a long time ago. They said, yeah, it's one thing to take a building apart, you know, to do demolition, but it's another thing to build a building. Building a building takes a lot more expertise and a lot more knowledge and a lot more creativity and ingenuity than somebody coming with a hammer or a tractor and just mowing down over a house. Okay? So you must discard the critics of the world out there and in here. Let go of that, because those critics are doing nothing to you except for imposing imprisonment, imposing limitation. And your soul has such magic in it. It has such ability and freedom that it knows no limitation. And that's what the great masters came to show us. They even showed us that they were so free, they were even beyond the limitation of this physical reality. Walking on water and healing the sick and doing all this sort of thing. They were such amazing masters at how free they were and how much they brought this freedom in. They had this special ability. So know, whenever you are thinking about limitation, whenever you are saying, I am only this, I cannot do that, oh, I'm too scared. Well, Yeah, you might be too scared. Maybe you're nervous to get on stage to sing. Maybe you're nervous to take a chance at something. But I'm saying, let go of that if you wish to be free. Try anyway. Do what makes you happy. Do what is a movement of your happiness. That's what I always mean by make you happy, okay? Just so you know, if you're a regular subscriber, a regular tuning into this channel, I don't believe in saying, oh, I need this thing in order to make me happy. I believe in the movement of your happiness already. Right? If you're already happy, then it moves, you see? But so many times people know what would make them happy. In this moment, they know that I'm already happy if I just allowed myself to be what I am right now, you see? And then that happiness will move. But right away they stop that or stifle it because they're like, oh, what if this critic says this? What if this person says that? What will people think of me? What if I'm not successful at it? Because your mind's coming up with ideas of what is success and what is not. But what if just the movement itself of who you are is success? What if that is the highest level of success? And that's what I'm here to tell you it is. It is the highest level of success because when you move and you are yourself, that has a magical incantation in it. There's a spiritual energy that starts to get active. We call it the Shakti, we call it the self, we call it the internal stillness, we call it love. That movement starts to happen, and that movement heals the world more than you can imagine. And sometimes it takes about 2, 3, 4, or 10 years before you actually see the side effect, but it always happens. Always happens. It's just that your mind can't see how amazing the effect is on the people around you. So yeah, you will touch different experiences as you chant mantra, as you meditate. You will touch different experiences inside, right? You'll touch this amazing unconditional bliss in you. And then you open your eyes and then you're here. Then what? This bliss is here, and then you'll start to notice that perhaps there's a yearning for creation. You know, the internal creator, the God principle. Internal connection, internal movement. Maybe you feel like dancing. There's many different things that can happen. But if this is moving through you, this joy or this bliss, it must be the right thing because it's coming from the place of unconditionality. It's not coming from a need here, which is based on suffering. I'm lonely, so I need to connect to that person. I'm hungry, so I need to eat. You know, it's not like that. It's coming from a place of freedom. So don't stifle yourself. Let go of all limitation here, because isn't that what meditation is? When you meditate, you're letting go of all limitation. You're letting go that even the fact that you're a physical person, you're saying, I'm letting go that I am the body. I'm letting go that I'm my thoughts. I'm letting go that I'm my sensations. These are all limitations, you see, because they are specific perspectives on which you perceive this reality. So letting go of limitation is what the enlightenment path is about. When you let go of your thoughts of limitation, then reality will show itself, but that's because reality is showing you it. It's not because you're thinking it. And you know that your limitation one day might be different than another day. In the world of reality, your limitation when you're 3 is different than when you're 30. But imagine if you kept hold of the same limiting thoughts you had when you're 3 years old. Say, oh, I can't reach the top of the counter in the kitchen. Say you kept those thoughts. You go into the kitchen, even if you're 6'5", you still would not put your hand on the counter because you're like, oh, well, you know, I'm limited, I can't do that. So this is why you take your mind out of your life. You use it when necessary, but you take the limiting thoughts and the internal critic, you take that out because reality will show you what is going on in any one moment. It'll show you what the limitation is based on the forces in movement, in play, but it's not because of self-imposed limitation. It's not because of self-imposed limitation, and that's what we're discarding here on the enlightenment path. We're saying what is really here, what is really happening. We're not saying, oh, I have an idea of what's happening. And that freedom is amazing because you'll start to see that the stuff that you're capable of is way beyond what you thought. All of a sudden you're maybe 70 years old, you're becoming a hip-hop DJ or you're breakdancing or something, you know, who knows, you know? But when you let go of these limitations, it's amazing how much freedom comes into your life. This happy movement of the soul is what you're here for, right? Just keep discarding your limitation, discard your ideas about yourself and allow this to flow outwards. And that will have a higher healing effect on this world than all of the idealisms and religions put together. Because those too are limitation when they're perceived from the mind. Okay? So I hope this helps. Take care for now. Thanks for supporting my work, and I also want to let you know I also have another YouTube channel called JasonGallant Music, and there I will be uploading meditation and music tracks, and feel free to listen in, and you can also access those tracks on my website at jasongallant.ca in case you want to download them for your iPhone or iPod or something like that. Okay? So thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.